The lasagna was still hot when my brother threw it at my feet. I watched the ceramic dish shatter, red sauce spreading across the kitchen tile like blood. My mother's voice cut through the silence. "Clean it up, Alexandra, and make another one for your brother. He needs proper meals for his studies. My name is Alexandra, and I'm 19 years old. This is the story of how I destroyed my family and saved myself." "I said this was garbage," Wyatt sneered, already heading back to his room. "How's a future lawyer supposed to focus with food like this?" I grabbed the paper towels, kneeling to clean up the mess. Hidden beneath the shattered dish was my half-finished scholarship essay, now soaked in marinara. 6 hours of work, ruined in seconds. But I kept my face neutral, the way I'd learned to do years ago. "Sorry," I muttered, though no one was listening anymore. My mother had already followed Wyatt upstairs, probably to offer him takeout money. My phone buzzed. My boss at the cafe texting about picking up another shift. I typed back yes before she could give it to someone else. Triple shifts were killing me, but every dollar counted. "Alexandra!" My mother's heels clicked against the hardwood as she returned. "Why haven't you started on the new lasagna yet? Your brother has a big test tomorrow." "I have work in an hour." "Work?" she scoffed. "That little cafe job? Wyatt is in law school." "Law school, Alexandra. He's the family's future." She grabbed my arm, pulling me up. "You just need to find a husband. Until then, you support your brother. That's what family does." I remembered the day they took my college fund. I'd just gotten my acceptance letter to the State University's engineering program. But Wyatt had also gotten into law school, and suddenly my future vanished into his tuition payments. "Yes, Mother." I moved to the fridge, pulling out more ingredients. My father sat at the kitchen table, hidden behind his newspaper. He hadn't said a word during the entire incident. He never did. "That's better," my mother said. "And wear something nice to work. You never know when you might meet someone suitable." The moment she left, I pulled my real scholarship essay from inside my jacket. The one I'd been working on during my breaks at the cafe. The one about architecture, about building something from nothing, about escape. My father cleared his throat. For a moment, I thought he might say something, about the lasagna, about Wyatt, about anything. Instead, he just folded his newspaper and walked out. I heard Wyatt's music blasting from upstairs as I assembled the new lasagna. He was probably studying, which meant scrolling through social media while pretending to read case law. But he'd get perfect grades anyway. He always did, somehow. My phone buzzed again. Alexis from work. "You coming in early again? Boss says there's a catering event. Extra tips." I looked at the clock. If I rushed the lasagna, I could make it. Every extra dollar was another step toward freedom. "On my way," I texted back. The oven timer dinged just as I heard Wyatt thundering down the stairs. "This better be edible," he called out. Unlike that trash from before, I set the dish on the counter, grabbed my bag, and headed for the door. Behind me, I heard my mother's voice. "Alexandra, aren't you going to serve your brother?" "She's useless," Wyatt said through a mouthful of food. "Can't even make decent lasagna. Good thing she's pretty. It's her only shot at a future." I closed the door behind me, letting their voices fade. They had no idea about the applications I'd been filling out, the practice tests I'd been taking in secret, the money I'd been hiding away. They thought I was just the family servant, the backup plan, the pretty face who needed to find a husband. But I'd learned something they hadn't. Patience is a weapon. And I was getting very, very good at wielding it. Walking to my car, I pulled out the real scholarship essay. The sauce-stained one had been a decoy. I'd learned to keep duplicates of everything important. Tomorrow, I'd polish this draft during my break. Then it would join my architecture school application, hidden in a folder labeled Wedding Pinterest Ideas on my laptop. Let them think I was searching for a husband. Let them think I was nothing but their servant. Let them think whatever they wanted. I had other plans. Girl, you look dead on your feet, Alexis said, sliding a triple espresso across the counter. How many hours did you sleep? 3, maybe 4. I tied my apron, already moving to clear tables. The morning rush was about to hit, and I needed those tips. Had to finish Wyatt's laundry after my shift last night. Heaven forbid he learns how to use a washing machine. You know this isn't normal, right? Alexis followed me, helping collect mugs. The way they treat you. I paused. Dirty dishes balanced precariously in my arms. Can we not? I need to focus on your secret architecture application, she whispered, grinning. How's that going? The dishes clattered as I set them down too quickly. Keep your voice down. If anyone from my family's circle hears... Relax, Alexis said, checking that no other employees were nearby. But seriously, you need to tell me more. Switzerland? That's huge. I pulled out my phone, showing her the program's website. ETH Zurich, one of the best architecture schools in the world. They offer full scholarships to international students if... The cafe door chimed. I shoved my phone away as Wyatt strutted in with 3 of his law school friends, all wearing matching university hoodies. My brother's eyes swept past me like I was furniture. 4 Americanos, he announced to Alexis, not bothering with pleasantries. And whatever my sister's having, she looks terrible. I'm working, Wyatt. Obviously. He smirked. Someone has to pay for my books. His friends laughed, and I felt my cheeks burn. I moved to the espresso machine, but Alexis stepped in front of me. I've got these, she said loudly. You can clean the back tables. As I wiped tables, I could hear Wyatt's voice carrying across the cafe. He was video calling someone, probably another law school friend. Nah, man, I never study, he boasted. These suckers spend all night in the library while I'm out living life, still acing everything. One of his friends chimed in. Wyatt's got a system, don't you, buddy? You know it, Wyatt laughed. Work smart, not hard. That's what separates the winners from the losers. I gripped my cleaning cloth tighter, remembering all the nights I'd heard him on similar calls in his room. Always bragging, never studying, yet somehow maintaining perfect grades. Alexandra, Wyatt called out. My cup's empty. Before I could move, Alexis appeared with fresh coffees. On the house, she said sweetly. Now please keep your voice down. Other customers are trying to work. Wyatt's face darkened, but his friends were already standing to leave. Whatever. See you at home, sis. Mom wants you to clean my room today. I've got a big paper due. After they left, Alexis found me in the storage room, hands shaking as I counted inventory. Hey, she said softly, I've got something that might help. Remember my old professor? The one who retired last year? He tutors students for standardized tests. Off the books. I looked up. I can't afford... He owes me a favor, and he loves helping students stick it to unfair systems. She handed me a piece of paper with a phone number. Call him, please. That night, I went home late after my 3rd shift. The house was quiet except for Wyatt's room, where his laptop hummed. He'd probably fallen asleep while studying again. I started cleaning, picking up empty energy drink cans and takeout containers. His laptop screen glowed with a dozen open tabs, social media, sports scores, and something that looked like an essay marketplace website. Moving the mouse to close the windows, I noticed a folder labeled Essays Purchased.docs. My heart stopped. What are you doing? I spun around. Wyatt stood in the doorway, eyes narrow. Just cleaning, I said quickly. Like Mom asked. Stay away from my laptop. He crossed the room in 2 strides, slamming it shut. Don't you have dishes to wash or something? I backed away, mind racing. Sorry, I'll go do that now. In the kitchen, I pulled out my phone and the professor's number. My hands trembled as I typed. Hi, this is Alexandra. Alexis gave me your number. I need help preparing for an exam, but it needs to be completely confidential. The response came quickly. Of course. When would you like to start? I looked toward Wyatt's room, where he was probably deleting evidence right now. Then I thought about my architecture application, about Switzerland, about freedom. As soon as possible, I wrote back. I'm ready to begin. Professor Martin's living room had become my sanctuary over the past month. Every Tuesday and Thursday, between my morning and afternoon shifts, I'd slip away to study advanced mathematics and architectural theory. Excellent work on the mock exam, he said, adjusting his reading glasses. Your spatial reasoning scores are particularly impressive. I beamed at the practice test results. Really? Indeed, though you seem distracted today. Sorry, I rubbed my eyes. Late night, had to help Wyatt prepare for a presentation. Ah yes, the famous brother. Professor Martin's tone was carefully neutral. The one whose success requires your servitude. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Mother. Where are you? Wyatt needs his suit pressed for tomorrow's moot court. I have to go, I said, gathering my books. Double shift, then home duties. Alexandra. Professor Martin's voice stopped me at the door. You can't keep this pace forever. Something has to give. Just 3 more weeks, I said, until the application deadline. The cafe was slammed when I arrived. Alexis shot me a sympathetic look as I rushed behind the counter. Your brother was here, she said quietly, showing off his new car to his friends, the one your parents bought him for studying so hard. I focused on making drinks, trying not to think about how that car probably cost more than my entire year's salary. The same salary that helped pay for his education. Oh, and he said something charming about how you're wasting your life serving coffee. Alexis rolled her eyes. I almost poured his latte in his lap. Don't! I managed a small smile. He's not worth losing your job over. The afternoon rush kept us busy until closing. As I counted my tips, Alexis peered over my shoulder. That's it, she declared. I'm helping you finish that application tonight. My apartment. No excuses. But Wyatt's suit. Can wait. This is your future, Alex. 3 hours later, I stared at my laptop screen in Alexis's tiny studio apartment. The application form finally complete. Every grade, every recommendation letter, every carefully crafted essay. It was all there. Do it, Alexis urged, holding out a cup of tea. Hit submit. My finger hovered over the mouse. Years of dreams, months of secret preparation, countless hours of hidden study, all coming down to this moment. I clicked submit. Alexis whooped, pulling me into a hug. You did it! You actually did it! My phone buzzed again, and again, and again. 15 missed calls from my mother, 20 text messages. Oh, God! I grabbed my bag. I have to go. Text me when you get home, Alexis called as I rushed out. And Alex, I'm proud of you. The house was dark when I arrived, except for the kitchen light. My mother sat at the table, her face a mask of fury. Where have you been? Work ran late, Don't lie to me. She stood up, her heels clicking on the tile. Wyatt saw you at some apartment building, with a friend. She spat the last word like poison. I was helping Alexis with enough. She slammed her hand on the table. While you were gallivanting around, your brother had to wear an unpressed suit to his presentation. Do you know how that reflects on this family? I heard movement upstairs. Wyatt, probably listening. I'm sorry, I said automatically. It won't happen again. No, it won't. My mother moved to my bag. What's in here? What are you hiding? Nothing. I pulled it away, but not before she caught a glimpse of my architecture textbook. Her eyes narrowed. What is that? Just Something I'm reading. For fun. Fun? She laughed coldly. You think you have time for fun? While your brother is building a future for this family? I heard Wyatt's door open upstairs. Give me the bag, Alexandra. No. The words slipped out before I could stop it. My mother's face went white with shock. What did you say to me? I said no. My voice was steadier now. My bag, my things. How dare you? Wyatt appeared at the bottom of the stairs, smirking. Trouble in paradise? Your sister, our mother said, has been keeping secrets. I clutched my bag tighter, thinking of the application I'd just submitted, of the future I'd just dared to reach for. Go to your room, my mother ordered. We'll discuss your attitude in the morning. I climbed the stairs, passing Wyatt, who whispered, Nice going, sis. Real smart making Mom angry right before my big exam week. In my room, I locked the door and pulled out my phone. One new email. Thank you for your application to ETH Zurich School of Architecture. We will review your materials and respond within 4-6 weeks. I closed my eyes, heart pounding. The die was cast. Now all I could do was wait, and pray my family didn't discover the truth before I had a chance to escape. Sit down. My mother's voice was ice as she gestured to the kitchen chair. It was 6 a.m., and she'd been waiting for me. I have work. Sit. I sat. She placed my architecture textbook on the table between us. She must have searched my room while I slept. Explain this. She tapped the book's cover. And explain the money you've been hiding. My heart stopped. What money? Don't play dumb. I found your secret bank statements. Almost $8,000? She leaned forward. Who is he? He? The boy you're saving this money for. The one you're planning to run away with. Relief flooded through me. She jumped to the wrong conclusion. There's no boy, Mother. I've just been saving my tips. For what? A car, I lied quickly. Like Wyatt's. I'm tired of taking the bus to work. She studied my face for a long moment. And this book? Someone left it at the cafe. I was just curious. Curious? She laughed sharply. About architecture? Don't be ridiculous, Alexandra. You can barely handle basic math. I bit my tongue, thinking of my practice test scores hidden in my locker at work. I want you to quit that cafe job, she continued. It's putting ideas in your head, making you forget your place. But Wyatt's tuition. Your father got a promotion. We can handle Wyatt's expenses now. She stood up. It's time you focused on finding a suitable husband. I've invited Jamie for dinner tonight. Jamie? Wyatt's friend? He comes from a good family. He's in law school with your brother. He'd be perfect for you. Perfect for keeping me under their control, she meant. I'm not quitting my job, I said quietly. Her hand slammed the table. This isn't a discussion. You're right, it's not. I stood up, grabbing my bag. I'm late for work. I was halfway to the door when she called out, If you leave now, don't bother coming back. I paused, hand on the doorknob. We both know you won't kick me out. Who would cook Wyatt's meals? The cafe was quiet when I arrived. Alexis took one look at my face and made me a coffee. That bad? She found my architecture book. I slumped against the counter. But she thinks I'm saving money to elope with some secret boyfriend. Well, that's good? Maybe? She wants me to quit working here, says I need to focus on finding a husband. I laughed bitterly. She's inviting Jamie over for dinner tonight. Jamie? Isn't he the one who's always watching Wyatt like he's waiting for something? Before I could respond, the cafe door chimed. Speaking of the devil, Jamie walked in, alone for once. Alexandra, he said, oddly formal. Can we talk? Alexis squeezed my arm and disappeared into the back. Black coffee? I reached for a cup. No, listen. He glanced around, then lowered his voice. There's something happening at school. A cheating investigation. A big one. My hands froze on the coffee pot. What does that have to do with me? Your brother… He stopped as the door chimed again. Wyatt strolled in, looking smug as ever. Jamie, there you are, man. Wyatt clapped him on the shoulder. Ready for the ethics exam? Jamie stepped back. Yeah, about that. Dean Scarlett is implementing new anti-cheating measures. Wyatt's smile flickered. So? So maybe we should study. Actually study. Why start now? Wyatt laughed, but there was an edge to it. Our system works fine. Your system, Jamie muttered. What was that? Nothing. Jamie turned to leave, then paused. See you at dinner, Alexandra. I watched them go, Jamie tense and Wyatt shooting him suspicious looks. As they left, Jamie dropped something on the counter, a small, folded note. I opened it when Alexis returned. You should know what your family's investing in. What does that mean? Alexis asked, reading over my shoulder. I don't know. But I remembered the folder on Wyatt's laptop. Essays, purchased, .docx. But I think Jamie's trying to tell me something. About Wyatt? About everything. I tucked the note into my pocket. And I think tonight's dinner just got a lot more interesting. My phone buzzed. Another angry text from my mother about tonight's dinner. About my future. About knowing my place, if she only knew. In a few weeks, I'd either have my ticket to freedom or be trapped here forever. And somehow, I had a feeling Jamie was about to play a crucial role in which way things went. Want me to come over after dinner? Alexis offered. For moral support? I shook my head. No, I need to handle this myself. I pulled out my phone to check the time until my architecture school would announce decisions. 3 weeks, 4 days, and 17 hours to go. Jamie arrived for dinner exactly on time, wearing a suit that made my mother beam with approval. Wyatt, surprisingly, was nowhere to be seen. He's running late, my mother explained, ushering Jamie to the living room. Important study group meeting. Alexandra, serve the appetizers. I brought out the cheese plate I'd prepared, noting how Jamie wouldn't meet my eyes. So, Jamie, my mother purred, tell me about your plans after law school. Actually, Mrs. He cleared his throat. There's something I need to discuss with… The front door slammed. Wyatt stormed in, face flushed with anger. You! He pointed at Jamie. What did you tell Dean Scarlett? My mother's smile froze. Wyatt, dear, what's wrong? Ask him! Wyatt threw his bag down. Ask your perfect dinner guest what he's been saying about me. Jamie stood up slowly. I didn't tell her anything, Wyatt, but she's investigating everyone. The plagiarism detection software… Plagiarism? My mother's voice rose sharply. What is he talking about, Wyatt? Nothing. Wyatt grabbed Jamie's arm. We need to talk. Now. They disappeared into the kitchen. I followed quietly, pressing against the wall to listen. You promised you'd keep quiet, Wyatt hissed. That was before I knew how deep it went. Jamie's voice was steady. Buying one essay is bad enough, but you've been selling them too, to first years. You can't prove anything. The dean already has proof. That's what today's meeting was about. My mother appeared behind me. Alexandra, stop eavesdropping and set the table. But even she paused when Wyatt's voice carried through the door. If I go down, you're going down with me. Who helped me format all those papers? I never knew they were purchased. I thought I was helping a friend study. Tell that to the ethics board. I stepped into the kitchen, unable to stay quiet. Is that how you've been getting perfect grades? Buying essays? Wyatt spun toward me. Shut up. This is none of your business. None of my business? My voice shook. My entire life has been put on hold to fund your education, and you're cheating. Alexandra! My mother grabbed my arm. How dare you accuse your brother? She's right. Jamie's words cut through the tension. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cox, but Wyatt's been cheating since first year, and now the dean knows. My mother's face went white. Get out! But get out! Jamie looked at me, then pulled something from his pocket, a USB drive. He set it on the counter. Everything's here. What he bought, what he sold. I'm sorry. After he left, the silence was deafening. My mother stared at Wyatt, who wouldn't meet her eyes. Tell me it's not true, she whispered. Mom, I can explain. My phone chimed loudly in my pocket. An email notification. From ETH Zurich. What was that? My mother's head snapped toward me. Nothing. I backed away, but Wyatt was faster. He grabbed my phone. ETH Zurich School of Architecture? He read aloud, face twisting into a sneer. What is this? My mother snatched the phone. Her eyes widened as she read. An acceptance letter to architecture school in Switzerland with a full scholarship, I said quietly. You? Wyatt laughed harshly. They accepted you? While you were buying your way through law school, I was actually studying. I grabbed my phone back. Surprise. You can't go, my mother said immediately. We won't allow it. I'm 19. You can't stop me. We're your family. Family? I laughed. Family doesn't treat their daughter like a servant. Family doesn't steal her college fund. Family doesn't... Enough! Wyatt's face was red. You think you're so smart? At least I was trying to become something. What's architecture going to get you? Nothing. It's getting me away from you. He lunged at me, but I was ready. I stepped aside, and he crashed into the counter, sending the USB drive clattering to the floor. My mother picked it up with trembling hands. I'll call your father. We'll fix this. We'll find a way. My phone chimed again. A text from Jamie. Dean Scarlett is announcing the investigation tomorrow. I'm sorry it had to be this way. There's nothing to fix, I said, heading for the stairs. Wyatt destroyed his own future, and I'm building mine. Alexandra! My mother's voice followed me up. If you leave this family... I turned at the top of the stairs. I was never really part of it, was I? In my room, I pulled out my packed suitcase, the one I'd been slowly filling for months. Switzerland was waiting. Freedom was waiting. And downstairs, I could hear my carefully planted bomb finally exploding, taking their perfect family fantasy with it. The house felt like a powder keg the next morning. My father had come home late, and I'd heard them arguing until dawn. My mother's hysterical accusations, Wyatt's defensive shouts, my father's rare but thunderous voice cutting through it all. I crept downstairs at sunrise, hoping to slip out before anyone woke, but my father sat at the kitchen table, looking older than I'd ever seen him. Sit down, Alexandra. I hesitated, then took the chair across from him. He pushed a thick envelope toward me. Your welcome packet, he said quietly, from the architecture school. It came yesterday. My hands shook as I took it. You opened it? Your mother did. He rubbed his face. Full scholarship, housing stipend, everything you'd need to start a new life. Dad, when did you get so smart? His voice cracked. When did you learn to plan all this? While we were... He trailed off, guilt heavy in his eyes. While you were focused on Wyatt? He flinched. I failed you. Yes, I said simply. You did. The stairs creaked. Wyatt, looking hungover and desperate. Dad, please, you have to call Dean Scarlett. Tell her it's all a mistake. A mistake? My father's voice went cold. Like the mistake of buying essays or selling them to other students? I had to. Wyatt slammed his hands on the table. Everyone does it. The pressure... The pressure? I stood up. Try working 3 jobs while studying in secret. Try watching your dreams get handed to someone else. Try... Shut up. Wyatt grabbed my welcome packet. You think you're better than me? You're nothing. Just a waitress with delusions of... My father's hand slammed the table. Enough! We both froze. I'd never heard him yell like that. Give your sister her papers, he ordered Wyatt. Now. But Dad. Now! Wyatt threw the envelope at me. Fine. Take your precious acceptance. But when you fail in Switzerland, don't come crawling back. Like you're failing here? I caught the envelope. At least my achievements are real. He lunged for me again, but my father caught his arm. Don't, my father warned. You've done enough damage. My mother appeared in the doorway, still in yesterday's clothes. Alfred, please. We can fix this. We can pay the school, explain that Wyatt was under stress. No. My father's voice was firm. No more fixing. No more excuses. But he's our son, and she's our daughter. He gestured at me, the one we've been treating like a servant, the one who's somehow stronger than all of us. My phone buzzed. Alexis texting about my shift. But there was also an email from the dean's office, copied to all law students. Mandatory assembly today regarding academic integrity violations. Wyatt's phone buzzed with the same message. His face went pale. I have to go, he whispered. Maybe I can talk to her before... You're not going anywhere, my father said. You're going to sit here and face what you've done. Like hell I am. Wyatt grabbed his keys. I'm not letting some stupid ethics board ruin my life. He stormed out. Moments later, his car screeched down the driveway. My mother collapsed into a chair, sobbing. What will people say? What about his future? What about Alexandra's future? My father asked quietly. She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. You really got accepted? On your own? Yes. I held up the welcome packet. Everything I've done, I did on my own. But you're just what, Mother? Just the backup plan? Just the pretty face who needs a husband? I grabbed my bag. I have to get to work. My last shift at the cafe. Last shift? My father asked. My flight to Switzerland leaves next week. I headed for the door, then turned back. By the way, there's a letter for you in my room, explaining everything, in case you ever wondered why I did this. Alexandra, wait! My mother called, but I was already gone. Outside, the morning sun felt different somehow. Brighter, cleaner. My phone buzzed again, Jamie this time. Dean Scarlett's going public in an hour. Wyatt just tried to break into her office. Security caught him. I typed back, thank you for everything. You're welcome. And Alexandra, you're going to do amazing things in Switzerland. I got in my car, looking back at the house one last time. Through the window, I could see my parents, my mother crying, my father holding my welcome packet like it was made of glass. Let them read it. Let them finally see what they'd done. Let them live with the consequences of their choices, just as I'd lived with mine. My phone buzzed one more time. Alexis, ready for your last day of serving coffee? I smiled, starting the engine. Ready for my first day of freedom. The news broke during my final shift at the cafe. Alexis and I watched it unfold on Twitter. Major cheating scandal rocks law school. Then, multiple students expelled, ringleader identified. And finally, the headline that changed everything. Dean expels top student for running essay selling scheme. My phone exploded with notifications. First from Jamie. It's done. Wyatt tried to delete evidence, but IT recovered everything. Then from my father. Come home, please, we need to talk. And finally my mother. What have you done to this family? You okay? Alexis touched my arm. Before I could answer, the cafe door burst open. Wyatt stormed in, face contorted with rage. You! He pointed at me. You planned this. You and Jamie set me up. Customers turned to stare. I stepped behind the counter, putting distance between us. You set yourself up, Wyatt. I just stopped covering for you. Covering for me? You're my sister. You're supposed to support me. Like you supported me? I kept my voice steady. When they took my college fund? When they made me work 3 jobs to pay for your fake education? He lunged for the counter, but Alexis was faster. She grabbed the phone. One more step and I'm calling the police. The police? He laughed hysterically. My life is already over. Expelled, blacklisted. Do you know what this means? It means you face consequences, I said. Finally. The cafe door opened again. My parents rushed in, my father immediately grabbing Wyatt's arm. That's enough! His voice boomed through the cafe. You're making a scene. A scene? My mother's mascara was streaked with tears. Our son's life is ruined, and you're worried about a scene? Your son ruined his own life, I said quietly. And mine too, for a while. How dare you? She stepped toward me, but my father held her back. No, Presley, she's right. The cafe had gone silent. Every customer watched our family drama unfold like a daytime soap opera. Right, my mother's voice rose. She destroyed everything we built, everything we sacrificed for. You sacrificed me, I said. Not yourselves. Never yourselves. We gave you everything. You gave Wyatt everything. You gave me orders. Wyatt broke free from my father's grip. At least they believed in me. What are you? Just a coffee girl with delusions of... A full scholarship to ETH Zurich, Alexis cut in. One of the top architecture schools in the world. While working 3 jobs and dealing with your abuse. That's who she is. My mother's face went blank. You're really leaving? For Switzerland? My flight's next week. I untied my apron. My last shift was officially over. I would have told you sooner, but... Well, you never asked about my dreams. Not once. Because we knew what was best for you. My mother grabbed my arm. You can't just leave your family. Watch me. I pulled away, walking around the counter. Customers parted like the Red Sea, creating a path to the door. Alexandra, please, my father called. We can fix this. As a family. I turned back one last time. You had 18 years to be a family. You chose to be a fan club for Wyatt instead. You ungrateful. Wyatt started forward again, but this time multiple customers stood up, forming a barrier between us. I think you should leave, an elderly man said firmly. All of you, except her. He nodded at me. My mother looked around, suddenly aware of their audience. Her face flushed with embarrassment. This isn't over, she hissed. Yes, it is. I picked up my bag. My shift is done. My time as your servant is done. Everything is done. Alexis appeared beside me with her car keys. Need a ride? Actually, Jamie's voice came from the doorway. I've got that covered. He stood there with his own keys, looking apologetically at Wyatt. I'm sorry it came to this, man, but she deserves her shot. You're both dead to me, Wyatt spat. Better dead to you than living for you, I said. I walked out with Jamie and Alexis, leaving my family standing in the cafe. Through the window, I saw my father sink into a chair, head in his hands. My mother stood frozen, mascara still running. And Wyatt looked lost, like a puppet whose strings had finally been cut. Where to? Jamie asked as we got in his car. I pulled out my welcome packet, the one thing I'd fought so hard to achieve. The airport. I need to confirm my flight details. A week early? No. I looked back at the cafe one last time. I'm changing my ticket. I'm done waiting. As we pulled away, I saw my mother run out, calling my name. But her voice faded into the distance, replaced by the sound of freedom approaching. Next stop, Switzerland. The Swiss autumn air was crisp as I walked across ETH Zurich's campus, my architecture models tucked safely in my portfolio. My phone buzzed. Alexis calling on video chat. Ready for your big presentation? Her familiar face filled the screen. As ready as I'll ever be. I adjusted my blazer. How's the cafe? Different without you, but guess who came in yesterday? My steps slowed. Who? Your dad. He asked for your address again. I sighed. What did you tell him? Same thing as always. That it's not my place to give it out. She paused. He looked rough, Alex. Said your mom had to start working at the mall after they sold the house. And Wyatt? Delivering groceries, last I heard. Jamie says he's taking online classes at community college now, actually studying this time. I reached the presentation hall, where my architectural models waited. I have to go. Final review in 10 minutes. Wait! Alexis's voice stopped me. There's something else. Your dad left this. She held up an envelope. Through the video, I could make out my name in my father's handwriting. Should I open it? I hesitated. The last letter I'd gotten from them, 3 months ago, was full of my mother's accusations and Wyatt's bitter words. But this one was just from Dad. Read it. Alexis opened the envelope. Dear Alexandra, I found your old sketchbooks in the attic while packing up the house, the ones you used to hide under your mattress. All those beautiful buildings you drew, all those dreams we ignored. She paused, wiping her eyes. I'm sorry it took losing everything to see what was right in front of us. I'm sorry we made you hide your light. I'm sorry I was a coward. My throat tightened. Is there more? Just this. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know that somewhere in Switzerland, there's a father who finally understands what he lost, and he's proud of you. Love, Dad. The presentation hall door opened. My professor poked her head out. Alexandra, we're ready. Go, Alexis said. Show them what you can do. I walked into the hall where the review board waited. My final project, a community centre designed to transform abandoned spaces into places of learning and growth, stood on the presentation table. As I began my presentation, my phone buzzed one last time. A text from Jamie. Your mum came to the law school today. She's been going around warning parents about the cost of favouritism. I think she finally gets it. I put my phone away and faced the review board. This project is about transformation, I began, about taking broken systems and building something new, something better. One of the professors leaned forward. And what inspired this design? I thought about my father's letter, about my mother's warnings, about Wyatt's fall and slow rebuild, about all the nights I spent hiding my dreams. I grew up in a house that looked perfect from the outside, I said, but inside, it was full of rot. This design is about creating spaces where no one has to hide, where everyone's potential matters. The board members exchanged looks. The head professor smiled. Tell us more. As I walked them through my design, I thought about karma, about justice, about the price of freedom. My family had built their dreams on my back, and when I stepped away, everything collapsed. But here I was, building something new, something real. My phone buzzed again in my bag. Probably Alexis, or Jamie, or maybe even my father again. They were all part of my story, but they weren't my whole story anymore. I pointed to the central atrium in my model, where light streamed through carefully placed windows. In architecture, we learn that the strongest structures are the ones built on honest foundations. You can't create something lasting from lies and shortcuts, the head professor nodded. And what happens to the broken pieces? In your design? I smiled, thinking of Wyatt in his delivery uniform, of my mother warning other parents, of my father finally finding my hidden sketchbooks. We don't throw them away, I said. We transform them. We learn from them. And sometimes that's the greatest design of all. The board started clapping. Through the presentation hall windows, I could see the Swiss Alps rising against the autumn sky. My future, built on my own honest foundation, stretched out before me. And somewhere back home, in a much smaller house, my family was learning to build something honest too. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But maybe it was the beginning of understanding. And for now, that was enough.